Hello everyone, we have got a Rise update. I'm saying it like that because it's kind of like two things, mostly really just one thing. So, as I'm sure you can read the title, we have an update for Devolos, and as well there is another listing to talk about. But to very briefly go over this, since I technically have to go over this every single news video, since the only other time I really want to do it. This channel has memberships. What it basically is, it's like Patreon. There's each to their own levels. It's very basic. Check it out if you're able to. I have a whole video explaining it on the thing, so when you click join, there's a little video I already recorded explaining it. But without any further ado, we're going to talk about Devolos. So, let's begin. This is the HD image of Venom Devolos D5. If you are wondering how this works, is that the chip, Devolos, is right spinning. If you want the left spinning chip, you have to go buy Erase Devolos, whatever. So, yeah, you know, that's kind of fun, I guess. Honestly, chip, and as well the same thing with Erase. Venom and Erase both, like, visually look good. Like, they don't look bad at all. They look really good. Like, the only really complaint, like, Erase I have no complaints for, it just looks good. The only real complaints I had for Venom was just, you know, just missing like two little red parts there, and I guess maybe also the parts where their stickers, not really anything there. But other than that, it looks really solid. Like, really, really solid. Well, this is like one of the few Hypersphere bays, like Rock Dragon for an example. That's another, I just say Rock Dragon just because it's an easy one to pick, where they just put a lot of attention to detail and it looks good. So, to talk about the next part, which is the actual bay itself, going here, before we even talk about Bullet, Vanguard seems just to resemble kind of like, I want to say, Hurricane. I do hope that, or Lore, that disc was on Cosmic Kraken. I do hope that this is at least above 20 grams. I know that doesn't really mean much for a disc unless it's like the weight of 0 or 00. Because a lot of the Hasbro core discs, I don't know what was the point in making them, because it's not like this was released during God. This was like released now. So if they're not that heavy, it's kind of pointless having these exclusive discs. But nonetheless, it looks like an interesting shape again. Hopefully it's heavy, otherwise I can't really see myself using it. Probably some good frames just to slap on that. I'm trying to think, probably wall, Vanguard wall, maybe something like that off the top of my head. Now we're going to talk about Bullet Hypersphere, because that is the most obvious thing to talk about. Yeah, Hasbro took out the gimmick, the Bullet.
You what?
So I basically have this next to picture I took and cleaned up of Venom Devolos. So the thing is, it kind of reminds me of the shape of Keep Hypersphere, which is a good thing, because Keep Hypersphere is one of those tips that are actually, like, I would say, one of the best for Hypersphere, or even the best as of right now. The only, like, there are tips for Hypersphere that are just, like, good just to, like, play normally, and there's the other ones that are, like, a lot more aggressive, so, like, linear and stuff like that. So there's tips that are just good for being really aggressive in Hypersphere, and tips that are just good for being, like, normal, like Rise and stuff like that. Tip looks normal. Now, the one thing I do want to say is that Bullet obviously does not look like it has the gimmick. I think that should have been expected. The one thing I am wondering is, you kind of notice that there's a little bit of, like, in the middle, in the bottom middle of it, there's, like, this weird, like, division of lines. So I don't know if that's, like, a mold thing and it just looks weird, or if there's some sort of gimmick to it. I'm only saying that because if I look at every other Hypersphere tip right now, none of them have that weird shape where it kind of just weirdly splits in the center. So I don't know if that's maybe something, or it's just maybe it's just a weird shape for the bottom part where Bullet sticks out. That's my only real guess. Bullet doesn't have the gimmick, yeah, big surprise. Honestly, aside from that, it does actually have a pretty, like, the shape is kind of almost like Bullet. Like with how weirdly rounded it is. Kind of having like these weird edges around it. Doesn't look that bad. Obviously, you can just tell again, really, I don't think, I just think it's gonna look a good tip, like, I wanna say like keeper, stuff like that. For Erase has a different tip, so if you're gonna buy Erase Devolos, whatever, I don't want to say the name until I actually see the dub of it. When you get a different tip, so the only way you can actually get Bullet Hypersphere is through Venom. I would assume that Venom would probably perform well. I don't think it's going to perform that badly, because usually it's either, if it's a really aggressive shape, it'll just be really more of a fun tip that it really can be used anything competitively. It is still weird, a little bit weird to use that word with this Hypersphere stuff, but you know. I don't think it's that bad for Hypersphere. For Hypersphere, to be very clear, it's like also with these like tips like Trick and everything, it's so weird seeing how they change the shapes and everything just to be sort of like similar. But I don't think it's gonna be that bad. Obviously we gotta wait to see with the actual product, but you know, a lot more stuff is coming through as time goes on. And you know, you can tell your thoughts in the comment section below, ignoring the fact that, oh my god, it's not actually TAKARA TOMY, big surprise. Tell me your thoughts for the Hypersphere side. How well do you think this tip's gonna perform? And yeah, moving on to the other piece of Hasbro information. I just did this digging myself, and I managed to find a listing on Amazon. I'll put a link called Zone Lunar L5. So I was basically just searching like Bay HS Lunar L5, and I found this. Now I will say, be wary. The description of that listing, I think, gives like evolution, so I don't actually know. I don't know if they're gonna call it. I would assume maybe this is some mistake. Otherwise, they're gonna call it Zone Lunar. I thought they were just gonna call it Zwei Lunar because they called Geist Fafnir, right? I don't think they would take out the Zwei, but I'm seeing Zone there, so that's the thing I'm kind of like confused with. Is it gonna actually be called Zone? I don't know. I don't know. I hope it's just maybe some mistake, and then maybe this listing doesn't count for anything. So that's why I'm trying to say take it with a grain of salt. Because just because it says it doesn't mean it's 100%. It's only really 100% when that app updates and we actually see it, or if for some reason the product doesn't come out until the dub comes, or until the product doesn't come out for a long time and the dub already has the episode out, and then after we find out what the name is. But yeah, hopefully we get some more information with this stuff. So that was really it. We are still waiting for pictures on Zwei. I'm just gonna say Lunar L5 and Marigna M5. I'm pretty sure Marigna is just a recolor. Hopefully it's not, and it's a new Hypersphere Hasbro exclusive, not just, well, it's still a Hasbro exclusive no matter what, but you know what I mean, And yeah, that's really it. So, last thing to mention, like I've been saying, we have channel memberships. If you're able to join. Obviously, make sure you are the legal age. And yeah, no, that's it. With this Hypersphere stuff, it's really scarce for information because the dub is coming out a lot later. Like, the dub in one place is coming like very, very soon, and then after the dub in everywhere else is like March 7th. It's like, okay. And you know, it's gonna be really weird because, you know, for Wave 2, we already see like Balkesh and all that stuff, and it's like, it's gonna go by really fast, or is it not? I don't know. My assumption, honestly, is that if the products that are up for pre-order are the actual dates, we're gonna have basically a lot of content, and the dub still won't have started because it says January and February, or it's gonna come out a lot later, and those dates will change, and they're just gonna really spread it out to match it with the dub. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Hopefully, we're able to get more information. I don't think, other than this Lunar thing, and I guess maybe in app updates, There's nothing else I could really think of that's really going to come out for Rise that's going to be really important. The only other thing I could think of is going to be February, the end of February, the Toy Fair event. That's the only other time I could think of where Hasbro is going to actually show off a bit more stuff, and we'll get more of an idea of what's going to come out with Rise. Because I was going to think, like, you know, in a month from now, I don't think we're going to get that much new information. Wave 3, I don't think we're going to get till probably, like, info anyways, maybe by, like, late March or, like, late June. Okay, maybe that was a big jump. Late March or late April, I mean. Because just info on the listings, because the listings have been like weirdly leaked and everything, so it's really awkward, but that is it for now. Thank you all for watching and have a wonderful and amazing day.